Hello, everyone. It's good to be with you today. My name is Phil Thompson.
And I'm Steve Lacy.
Welcome to another edition of the Church Solutions podcast. I never can remember the episodes, but it doesn't matter. We've just, as I've always said, we've done this forever. How are you doing today, Steve?
Doing good.
All right, good. Well, we're going to talk today about summertime. We're heading into summer. But before we do that, Steve, we do want to
Uh-huh.
remind people that they should check out a new product that we have. And the product is called, and I'm not looking for the name of the product. I know what that is. I just need to make sure I mark the time here. The product is called mychurchdaily.com.
Yes. mychurchdaily.com. That will allow you, pastors, church leadership, to be on the Amazon Echo devices.
That's right. So Amazon Echo has got a feature called My Flash Briefing. Your church could be on that every day if you wanted to.
Right?
Uh, and so go to mychurchdaily.com. You can hear more about it. And there's a 14-day free trial. So check it out. If you have any questions, just reach out to us. There's information there on how you can reach us, or you can always do what you always do, and that is support@streamingchurch.tv. I guess we also have an email, support@mychurchdaily.com. Would that be
Yes, we
correct?
do.
All right,
We
good.
do.
New products, so check it out. Yeah, you can't go wrong. No obligation. Give it a try. Try it for
Yeah,
2 weeks.
free. Yeah, free trial. No
Yeah,
credit card required.
yep, absolutely. All right. So, and we did a webinar on it too. So if you really want more information, we can give you the webinar. We've got it recorded. All right. So it's Tucson, Arizona, where we're from, and it's actually a nice day today. But and it's the time of this recording is in April, but we will be heading into summer very soon for everybody, at least everybody in the United States. And usually during this time of summer is where things begin to slow down a little bit. And one of those things that can slow down many times is giving. Finances
Yeah.
slow down a little bit.
It seems like everything slows down for church during the summer.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think that it generally does, but I don't think it has to. I think you can be assertive and aggressive and
mhm.
still get new people and still grow. I did that in my church in Kansas in the summer. I grew. I think every summer I grew a little bit. And I remember talking to my leadership team when I came back here to Tucson, and they didn't believe me. In fact, they got mad at me, because I said no, we could grow, we can grow. I don't think they wanted to put the work into it, to be honest with you. But
yeah,
anyhow,
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I I'm done with them, so I can talk about them now all I want. They're good. They're a good bunch.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, good bunch.
So so everything slows down. Church, the giving goes down as well, but you've put together some notes with what, 5 points on how to avoid the summer giving slump.
Yeah, I do. And by the way, if you want to see the notes, you can go to streamingchurch.tv and hover your mouse, I think, under more info, and you'll see our blog post. And so the notes for this are in the blog post right now. Or if you want to go to streamingchurch.tv, you can always go to newmediaministries.tv, which
Right.
we've had for a long time. Nobody cares about it, but the same content is on there. So, but yeah, I've got some notes here that I think will be very enlightening to everybody.
Yes. So how to avoid the 5 tips for how to avoid your
All
summer
right.
giving slump.
All right. So the bottom line with this is you really need to really focus on giving online, because especially with the pandemic we have had and we are still in. More churches are finding out, hey, we need to figure out a way for people to give because they're not coming into the building anymore, or at least the attendance is down. More and more people are starting to get back to church, but giving online is something that's really needs to be a very it's an important part of your ministry. And so we want to talk a little bit about how you can make that the use you can really make that effective, giving online, how you can really use that and use it for the summer. And we'll start with the very first note, or the very first point, and that is share your vision. And you need to be sharing your vision for your ministry, for your church, really on a regular basis. It needs to be something that's really a part of you, because people don't give so much for need towards needs; they give because of vision. I mean, they're going to give to some needs, you make needs known. There are people that will give, but what they really give at is when they hear vision, and they can embrace vision, the vision you have for your ministry. It not only will help your giving, but it will help every aspect of what you're trying to do, because you get people behind it. And the problem is, and speaking of pastoral ministry, which I've been involved with for many, many, many years, I know I don't look like it. I'm so young looking, but over 4 decades of this, and I'm telling you right now, most pastors don't share the vision of their church enough.
Yeah. So the distinction here, when you share the vision, and I guess the number one correlating factor is if your people buy into your vision, or they like that vision and they want to see that vision come to fruition, is
Right.
when that motivates the giving.
Yeah, it really does. And as I mentioned, just a minute ago, it motivates people to give, but it motivates people to get involved too. And so, if you're having summer slumps here, as we many times face, the giving sometimes goes down, but there's also issues where the volunteers kind of go away, and volunteers are a lifeblood of any church. And so the vision is so important, not just to raise money, but to really fulfill what God has put on your heart for your church. Every church is unique and different, and that's a good thing. And so, if you share that vision and you're really good at sharing it and helping, articulating it, you're going to get people behind you, not just financially, but they're going to roll up their sleeves and they're going to get involved in your
Mm-hmm.
church. And especially, it may be a tough summer. It's been a tough year with the pandemic, but people, when they catch the vision, they will certainly uh, jump in on it. And by the way, if they don't catch the vision, maybe, just maybe, they shouldn't be a part of your church. I
That is
mean,
true.
maybe they're in the wrong church. And, I always said, we're not for everybody. And we're unique. The church, when I was pastoring it, and a bunch of people left, and we shut the doors. No, we didn't. I'm just kidding. But people will leave if they don't embrace your vision. And many times people don't understand the vision, and they're a part of things. And then when you make decisions, you think they understand the vision, they don't, and then they cause problems.
Right, exactly. So as we go through this list, I'm going to probably add one into myself as well.
Absolutely. Please
So
do.
as you were talking, so about sharing the vision, what I'm thinking about what motivates me the most. And for me, I think God commands us in the Bible to give. And so it's a spiritual discipline
Mhm.
that the pastor needs to teach. And again, you mentioned that people don't give out of need. And one of the things that I think at my home church they do really well is they kind of try to emphasize the point that, you know, God owns the cattle on 1,000 hills, and we really don't need your money, but we do need you to exercise your spiritual discipline in giving, so that um, it will benefit the giver as much as it would benefit those that you're giving towards. So kind of
Absolutely.
teaching the fact that it's a spiritual maturity deal, that
Mhm.
if you want to attain maturity, you trust God with your life. You
Yeah.
should at least trust God with your finances,
Yeah.
and God commands us to give a tenth of um, that our income to the kingdom. So if we trust God with our life, we should trust Him with our giving. And so, anyway, I think
Yeah.
that's one of the main motivations for me, is when pastor reinforces that they'll do a giving message once, maybe twice a year. I can't remember, but it's all geared around the spiritual discipline, spiritual maturity about
Mhm.
giving, and trusting God's going to take care of your finances for you.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I have a little bit of a different take, in the sense that I think we have a responsibility to support, the ministry God's put us in. And so it's not only a spiritual discipline, which it absolutely is, but it's also a responsibility. And God has given us, responsibility. He doesn't just uh, magically make money appear. I mean, we try to say that, oh, it's a miracle somebody donated $10,000. Well, uh, maybe God moved on somebody's heart, but bottom line is they obeyed and they took responsibility. And so, absolutely, I think you're absolutely right there. I think it's a very important point. So that will be point number 2, I guess, right?
Sure, we'll make that point number 2. So when we get 6, we get
Yeah,
bonus
yeah,
points here.
no extra charge. All right, we'll have to go back to the blog and edit it. All right. So the second point that I made, or the third point now, I guess is what we're saying here, is that when we talk about people giving, and again, I'm really emphasizing a lot of giving online, giving digitally is what I'm emphasizing. People like to have choices, and there are people that So I would say give people multiple ways to contribute online. So just don't make them jump through a bunch of hoops. But you obviously should have it on your website, and you might even consider it having on key pages on your website, not just the home page, although that's very important. But you might want to have it even some other places on your website. There's other places you could have it. You could have it in your newsletter. Hopefully, you're sending a digital newsletter out, and you should have a place maybe at the bottom, maybe at the top. I don't know, but have it somewhere where people can see that and go, oh yeah, I'm going to give. You could have it even on social media. You could put a link on social media on your Facebook deal, or we were just talking about Facebook last week, or YouTube. Well, you can't do it on YouTube. I guess you could put it maybe in your bio, but there's different places, Twitter, that you can put people a link for people to give online.
Right. And there's multiple ways to do electronic giving. You can do text-based giving through a mobile app, or,
Yeah.
set up auto recurring kind of thing. So there's all kinds of options. I think you just want to make it as easy as possible to people and satisfy their favorite method.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. When I came on staff at the church I just resigned from after 7 years, one of the things I pushed was we need to get a mobile app. And so we use churchapplive.com, which is one of our products, full disclosure here. But when we started to get the app out there to people and let people know, hey, we've got an app, you can watch the service, you can listen to it, you can, do lots of things with it. One of the things you can do is you can give online using the app. And when we did that, our donations went up. I mean, it went dramatically up. So because we gave people an opportunity to give right where they were at, didn't have to wait to go to church. So yeah. All right. Shall we move on from this point?
Sure. Let's go.
All right. Where am I at now? I'm not even sure. I've lost my place here. Uh,
Number 3.
Point number 3, which is point number 4. So we'll confuse
Correct.
people. So once you have different options available to your congregation, make sure they know about it. I mean, I just alluded to that. Make sure people know about it. I mean, promote it as much as you can in everything that you have. One of the things that I love about what your church did, used to be my church, was when guys go into the restroom, there's stuff on the wall and you're promoting different events that you guys have. Shall we just say it, up above the urinals? We can edit this out later, but I like that idea because you're putting stuff in there that where people go, literally go, and they'll see it, right? And so when it comes to giving online and things,
Yeah,
make that available, but people see that.
Yeah, they took a lead from restaurants and bars, I think.
Yeah.
I think one of the first places was the Chili's. Oh, here's some space where they got this guy occupied for a minute or two.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's put something he can't miss. So
well, and the way you guys did it, and I want to say this too for people listening to this podcast, is they didn't just tack something up on the wall with a stick pin. I mean, you guys had it in a frame. You had it in a glass frame. It looked nice. People couldn't, people couldn't put graffiti on it. Not that they would in a church, right? But it was nice looking. It wasn't just here, throw this up here, and somebody will rip it down or something. It was attached to the wall in a nice frame, with glass and all that. And so get it out there.
And yep, and they would have here's ways you can give online. So yes, So let people know about the multiple of opportunities. What's next on our list
What's
here?
next on your list? You want to move on here, don't you? You want to go somewhere. So people that contributors love to know, how their contributions are really making a difference. People want to know, and what I'm giving here is my $10, is my $100, is my $500, whatever it might be. Is it making a difference? And during the pandemic, more important than ever, you've got to let people know. Maybe you've got a specific fund for something, whatever it might be. Let people know. Thank them for giving, and let them know how it's making a difference in people's lives.
Yeah.
And it's important.
Yeah, I know that at our church, one of the key celebration events is when we have baptisms, and it just uplifts everybody when we have baptisms.
Yeah,
And they always remind people to say this is your contributions are making this possible.
yeah,
So
that's
it's a
good.
way to, this
Yeah,
is what your money's doing. It's changing people's lives.
yeah,
So
that's very good. Yeah, it's a very good point. So anything that your church is doing, give that an opportunity to let people know, hey, your giving makes a difference here. We wouldn't probably be able to do this if it wasn't for your giving. And so give people that opportunity. I would also say too that if you can, it would be good to write a handwritten note to people. And I know, that's kind of like, well, we're in a digital age here. We don't want to write letters. Well, you know what? People still like to get a letter. And although most of the time, whenever I go out to my mailbox, it's never anything I really want to see. It's a bill or something. But for me to get I had somebody send me when I resigned recently. I had several people send me little letters saying how grateful they were that I was a part of things. And it really was very touching. It felt really good to read those. And so when people give, consider, you might not want to do it all the time, but consider writing a note, a handwritten note. It doesn't have to be a long deal, but just a little note saying, hey, you know what? Thank you for giving. We sure appreciate your generosity. Maybe even put down something we just said, your gift has helped us, with the food bank here in town, whatever it might be. Those kind of things bring joy to people's hearts when they get a letter once in a while.
right. All right. And our last one on the list here is something that I think will definitely have an impact over the summer slump,
Yes.
and that's provide the option to set up recurring giving.
Yeah. Recurring giving is something that you can do. I mean, again, my church has used PayPal, and you can set that up to give with PayPal. You could give something every week or every 2 weeks or every month. And you can, it just helps you remember. So whatever avenue you use, whatever
Yeah.
tool you use, reoccurring giving, it's one less thing you have to
Oh.
think about, and it helps the church, especially during summer.
Or it makes it so you don't have to remember. So,
Yes.
right, you just set it up and
Yeah.
you're just like, well, it's going to be there going until I make a change to it.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. And you can make a change. Most of these things, they're very easy to make changes on. So, there might be, oh my gosh, if I do this reoccurring, I might forget in 5 years from now, well, come on now. You can make the change if you want to stop the reoccurring giving. But reoccurring giving, again, it's very helpful. Speaking as somebody who was an executive pastor for so many years, when you can count on money coming in to pay the bills and to do things, especially during summer, it just takes a load off your shoulder.
right.
And so when you can do that, and when people can do reoccurring giving online, it's real blessing to the church. And like you just said, people don't have to think about it, because most people, if they're away for a few weeks on vacation or whatever it might be, it's easy to forget, especially
Right.
with these pandemic issues popping up and back, going up and down. You may not want to go to church because of something. So, you can give and you can support your
Yeah.
church.
And it also supports the spiritual discipline to give of your first fruits. If you set up a recurring giving, I just had lunch with one of my sons, and his wife has a large student debt, and they are setting up some things that are going to be just recurring and just getting that amount of finances out away from in front of them, knowing that they're going to deal with the rest. And it's not where a lot of people end up is, I'll give out of my excess, as opposed to, you just set up a recurring giving. You're going to give out of your first fruits. It's going to be there, and it's going to reinforce that spiritual discipline as well.
Yeah, you budget for it. You just set it up for you, and your budget is just part of your budget. You pay your electric bill. You give money to church on a regular basis. You pay your student loan. It's part of your budget, and I think it's really helpful for people. So folks, that's it. You can always read more of these notes by going to streamingchurch.tv and then cover your mouse under the info tab up there, and you'll see a drop down, and one of them is our blog. And we also have the Church Solutions podcast there. You can get the Church Solutions podcast on any place that you get your favorite podcast. Just do a search for Church Solutions podcast. And we're on Spotify, as you mentioned a couple of weeks ago now, and on the other ones. And don't forget that we have a new product called mychurchdaily.com. Go to the website right now, mychurchdaily.com. Check it out. If you want to make a free trial, if you have any questions, just hit us up and we'll be happy to help you and explain it to you. So there you have it.
All right. Sounds awesome.
All right. Can you hear my water fountain in the background?
I could not. And we did all these sound checks. I wanted to make sure. I assumed it was off. I was thinking about it.
It's going. My water fountain's going. It's a little pet peeve Steve has. I have a water fountain in my office. And when I say fountain, it's not a drinking fountain. It's one of these
must
fountains.
Must be my hearing's going. So
I think I adjusted the microphone so that you won't hear it. So hopefully people hear me. All right, we're done. Folks, please take care of yourselves. If there's anything we can do to help you, again, you know how to get to us. support@streamingchurch.tv. That's one of the places you can reach out to us. We'll be happy to help you if your tech needs, as well as other things. For Steve Lacy, my name is Phil Thompson. Please take care of yourself. We'll see you again next time on another edition of the Church Solutions Podcast.